We are going to get to do something a little fun and different today, and if you do have any paintbrushes or Q-tips at home, I've got a fun trick at the end of this project that we're going to get to use. But first, we are going to create a spider web. Figured good time of year for it. It's going to get cold and they're not going to be out as much. So we're going to start with the spider web, and the first thing I want you to do is put your finger somewhere in the middle of the paper, wherever you want. You don't have to be perfect middle. I actually really like it when it's not. Okay, where your finger is, take a black crayon. I'm going to use black crayon today, and put a dot. Okay, so once you've got your dot, you don't have to do a huge dot, but you have to be able to see it. So once you've got your dot, the first thing I want you to do is take your crayon, put it on your dot, and we are going to draw a line to the corner of your paper. Just like that. And then we're going to take our crayon, put it back on our dot, and we are going to draw a line to the other corner up top. It's okay if you went to a different one than I did. And we're actually going to do this for all 4 corners, but you always want to start from your dot. So I'm going to put my crayon back on my dot, go to this corner, and then this corner. It's okay if your lines aren't perfectly straight. We don't have to worry about being perfect. We also don't have to worry about getting perfectly on your corners, because we aren't perfect there either. All right, so now we should have 4 triangles on our paper. What I want you to do is we're going to take our crayon, go back to your dot, and we are going to draw a line straight up into this really big triangle we have, and you're going to go all the way off your paper. And that's one thing you want to make sure you're doing. All these lines are going off our paper. We want to make sure we use the whole paper. Take your crayon, go back to your dot. Notice we're always starting on our dot. Now we're going to go in the middle of this triangle. There we go. Back to our dot. Now we're going to go to the bottom triangle, draw a line right off your page. And we've got one more over here. Dot right off of our page. So now we should have lots and lots of little triangles. Okay? So we're going to take a look at just this triangle right here. Okay? And if you look, it's really short on one side, really long on the other, but that's okay. We're going to draw a U, the letter U. But our U needs to start on a line and end on a line. So watch. U. There we go. It might be kind of an open U. That's okay. Draw another one. Another U. Did that one get bigger? Okay. Each U we draw is going to get a little bit bigger because our triangle is getting bigger. Now this one's a little tricky because we don't have anything up here. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a U. But, oh, I ran out of paper. That's okay. And then we've got one triangle done. Move next door, finger in the triangle next door. If any time I'm going too fast, you can pause the video, you can rewind the video and watch it again if you didn't understand, okay? All right, so now in this triangle, we're gonna take our crayon and we are gonna go right to where this other U stops. So this U that I drew right here is right here, and it stopped right here. So I'm gonna put my crayon there, I'm gonna draw another U. It's just gonna be in the triangle next door. So see how they're kind of holding hands right here on that line? We're going to do the same thing up here. Those lines need to start in the same spot and draw a U. Okay? And then same thing up here. Now I've got room up in this guy. So I could draw the whole U. So see how it looks like they're connected? Kind of like a spider web would connect. All right, got to move next door. Finger in that triangle. All right, another U. Same spot we just ended. They need to be connected. Okay? And same thing up here. There we go. If you're not perfect, you can go back and fix it. All right, so as we kind of travel around, we're just going to keep doing the same thing. So we got to move next door. So if you're behind, you're doing the same thing I am. You just might be in a different triangle. And you can always pause, okay? So we're in this triangle. Once again, I got to start right where there. So it's like all of these little U's are kind of holding hands. It's like a water line, but it's going around in a circle. So I'm going to start right here where I stopped again. It's going to be a big U. Each of my triangles are different. Back up to this guy. And then this is one of my where I got part of a U and then, oh, I ran out of room. That's okay. And if they're not perfectly spaced, that's fine. Like this is pretty small and this guy's really big. That is just fine. Okay, moving along. Triangle next door. U. I think I have a little bit of room up here. I've been doing about 3 U's in each triangle. I think I got a little bit of room up here. We can add one, but it's gonna go off the page. There we go. Remember, we use the whole paper. All right, moving next door. So here's where my U is. U, and then it's gonna be a little bit of U. See how it went off the page there? And that one ended up a little flat. That's okay, we're not perfect. Okay, U. See, that one ended up kind of funny. And another one of my little partial U. All right, so this last one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start where our U ended. But now, because we're coming around back to the beginning, we want to end where this U is, so they connect them. See how they kind of touch? So if you kind of have a sideways U, that is fine. I'm kind of surprised how straight mine is. There we go. So if you went all the way around with your black crayon, you should have kind of what looks like a spider web. So now, you're going to get some marker out, and we are just going to have fun. I thought we could focus on the warm colors today. Warm colors are colors that kind of make you think of warm things. So the sun, maybe fire, hot lava, anything in your picture that you might kind of color that would be hot or warm. So that would be red, yellow, and orange. So I thought it'd be fun kind of use the warm colors today because spiders like it when it's warm out, which it's warm this week, but it won't be for much longer. So I thought we could use the warm colors. And all we got to do is come in and each little section that you made with your spider web, we're going to start coloring. And I am not going to worry about perfect coloring today because of the trick we're going to use after this. You want to get a lot of marker down, but if you notice, I'm not getting too close to the edges. I don't want to color outside the lines. So I'm just going to kind of color in the middle. When we color, try to use the side of your marker. Don't draw like this because that doesn't give you a lot of marker. We want to use the side. We want to get a lot of marker down for this trick that we're going to use. Okay. Now I kind of did a pattern in this one. So if you'd like to do a pattern, you can. Red, yellow, orange, red. But the only thing I'm really worried about is like I don't want to put red next to red. So I'm going to put yellow there. If you do put red next to red or orange next to orange, that's okay. We'll just try to stay away from each other. Get some more red down here. Okay, so I am going to pause my video and I am going to keep coloring so that you can come back and you can see what mine looks like completely colored in. When I pause, you are going to want to pause because I'm going to be working, so you're going to want to make sure you keep working, and then you can hit play when yours is completely colored like mine. Okay, so I'm back. I got all of my coloring done. If you look, like just I said, I left just kind of white outline right along where that black crayon is. Now here's where the fun trick comes in. If you do have a small paintbrush at home, feel free to use that. If you don't have a small paintbrush, you can totally do this with a Q-tip. If you don't have any of those, you can just color this in with marker and call it done. Okay, that would look really neat. Just saw I missed a spot. There we go. But if you do have it, this is kind of a fun trick to turn your marker into watercolor paint. So I got my little cup of water and I've got my paintbrush, and you just get your brush wet, and I call it the squeegee. I kind of pull my brush across the side, and then that way it's not super full of water, but it does have some water in it. It gives me a little bit more control. And then start in the middle so you're not putting your hand in it, and you can just paint with your marker. And that black crayon kind of helps keep the paint where it's supposed to go. Get some more water, move on to my next one. So now you can turn all this marker into watercolor paint. It's pretty neat. Okay, so make sure you start in the center of your spider web. Otherwise, you can put your hand in it. And if at any point too, you can turn your paper so that you don't put your hand in it. Or you can always kind of take a break and let it dry a little bit and then come back to it. But do make sure you're doing that squeegee, because otherwise your brush starts getting really full of water and all this water in the paper is going to start mixing. And it might mix a little bit, but that black crayon will definitely help keep the marker paint where it's supposed to go. So I am going to pause mine, and I am going to get mine completely painted with my markers, and then you can come see what mine's going to look like here at the end. So pause the video, go gather your supplies, and you can start painting. All right, so I got mine done. It's pretty wet right now, so I'm just gonna kind of let it sit for a couple minutes and let some of that water absorb into the paper before I go to pick it up. If you're using printer paper instead of a different kind of drawing paper or something like that, it is a little bit thinner, slipperier paper, so the water might run off a lot easier. If that's the case, you could paint a few sections, let them dry a little bit, and then kind of move on from there too. That's kind of the fun part with the marker. You're a little bit more in charge. If it does run, that is just fine, okay? This is water, it's supposed to be like watercolor paint, which isn't perfect, okay? So that was just kind of a fun, new little way we learned how to draw the spider web, and then we learned how to turn markers into paint. So thanks, and I'll see you guys again another day.